I'm Nicola Parker and I'm the Literacy Coordinator at Billing Brook School, and we work with pupils who are from 3 to 18, varying in needs. We have some children with autism, some children with Down syndrome, majority of pupils with global developmental delay, just speech and language difficulties, and a lot of our pupils who have fine motor, gross motor skills as well as part of their disability. And so handwriting is vital for our pupils. Along with all the other literacy sort of skills, they can't access or give their own ideas, their own opinions, their own take on the whatever we're covering in terms of literacy. They want to be able to write it down. They want to be able to give their voice. And if they have a block in terms of the handwriting skills, they don't put down on paper what they want to say. So by being able to support the children in their handwriting, their fine motor skills, their fluency, their confidence, everything grows, and they're able to then develop longer passages of writing. They can get everything down, and they're very proud of their work once they've done that. Start B, which is a handwriting intervention and can be used with children basically from early years all the way up to year 6. Now we're using them as well in our Key Stage 4 department, but obviously because of the children being special needs, that's why it sort of works on that scale. It's appropriate to, like I say, to all children, and very interactive and all led by the computer. So it supports handwriting and fine motor skills. So we know that so often children who have fine motor difficulties will have handwriting difficulties. So if you've got children who have bad pencil grip or who have lots of pressure, it's probably because they've got difficulties with their shoulder or their elbow. Gross motor skills they have difficulties with. So it all works around that. Works from a baseline. So we have the handwriting match fit assessment that the children complete, and that has been vital to Billing Brook. It outlines for the children whether they're obviously preferred hand, left or right. Also identifies if they've got sort of noise that's impacting on their handwriting. It also looks at the sort of pencil grips that they are holding. So are they using a hook? Are they using a tripod, palmer grip, and how to sort of support that. You then have a document that completes a baseline for you. So you can see, and you've got all your markings with it. Now the good thing with it is that you can then send them off to Start B. So they will come in, they will train you in how to do the assessment, but then if you do any subsequently after that, send them off to Start B and they will then help you verify your sort of grading of it, let's say, and then that comes back to you, and then they present it all on a big database. So you have all of your data as a start point that you can then add to. The lessons can be delivered on a whole class or small group, even one-to-one, depends on the needs of the children. So when you're working through with your Start B, you may have a whole class all at a similar ability, not very often that you will have that, but it then allows you to then split off into maybe sort of groups that are set. So you might be working on specific intervention plans or handwriting abilities. You could set that across your department or your school depending on how you can sort of work it. And it works with both mainstream and special needs children. So, just going to go over to a video so we can just tell you. So this is Halley Primary School in London.
I'm just going to tell you about a child in my class who was having difficulties with handwriting to the point that his mum was quite concerned. So the school said that they would do an occupational therapist referral. So the OT came into school and she put together a program, a small intervention that he could do. So we explained to her that we were going to be starting the Start B program, and we felt that as long as he worked through that program 3 times a week, that would support his needs. So she asked to come along to 2 of the sessions. And after the first session was finished, she said, "That's incredible. I don't need to give you an intervention for this child. The program absolutely will meet his needs, and if he's doing it 3 times a week, I don't need to give you any additional support." And that was great. And so we were in a position to be able to also say to his mum, The OT has said that we don't need an additional intervention, and I've also been able to show them, the mum, over September, October, November, how his handwriting has progressed. And, you know, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to see.
So there's a particular child in Year 2 who is on the special needs register, and that's some of his writing beforehand, before he started Start B, or at the very beginning. And the difference is that. So here's a child on the special needs register, not due to handwriting difficulties. There's more medical needs, but there's also some language and communication needs. But I think what Start B has done, first of all, is through the first quality of every day, it being taught every day, it's actually helped his sizing be consistent and also develop greater control over his letters. First piece was the 15th of September, and then we're looking at the 23rd of November, so we're looking at sort of less than 2 months really, in terms of half term as well. The class teacher came and told me about this child. This was a child who we were worried about, who we had referred, the parents were worried about as well, and we had referred this child to OT. We met with the OT and we met with the parents and the class teacher. And we actually decided to give this child a few minutes extra day working with a TA over and above the Start B. So doing the same programme, but picking up on some of the errors that the child was making. And I think it's made a real difference.
So, as you can see, the progress over those 2 months was quite sort of phenomenal just for that child. And that was obviously a child who did have special educational needs. So imagine that with a child who hasn't necessarily got those barriers to learning and the progress that you can make in. Start B sort of says within 12 weeks you can sort of get a really good progression rate for the children. It is an interactive handwriting programme. So what it does is it's led by Hannah Jane, and she leads all of the videos and such for you. And we've actually been in quite close contact with Start B purely because of some of the ages of our children. And it's really nice to work with a company that's quite flexible in helping us to meet the needs of the children and sort of say, okay, can we do it this way without a timer, with a timer? Working with children who obviously have sort of autism and such, if they feel under pressure or they've got to beat the timer, that's when obviously they can get into distress. So if you've got children like that in your class, there's the option to not only have the intervention with the 30-minute timer so that it breaks it down into a really high structured session, you can do it in with the 5-minute timer, let's say, which allows you to then pause it and allow the amount of time that is necessary for your pupils. And that's been sort of a saving grace for us, really. So it really allows it to be very personalised to the pupils. So I'm going to show you now the sort of in action, let's say, Start B in action. So this is Hannah Jane.
Hello, my name is Hannah Jane. We're going to learn how to do Start B handwriting together. Get your Start B colour pencils ready so that we can sing the pencil grip song.
So the pencil grip song is vital. They love the pencil grip song.
Up to the sky.
And you just see children,
Point your finger to
First,
and then they do the grip. So we'll go through that in a minute.
pupils' current handwriting ability and needs by running a handwriting match fit assessment. We then train the literacy team how to deliver the assessment too. Once we know the issues the pupils are struggling with in handwriting, we can put together a clear handwriting strategy for each pupil, each year group, and even a school-wide handwriting strategy using our proven method for teaching handwriting, which combines e-learning lessons with practical exercises, the right tools, and the right font. We made our lessons fun so that children look forward to learning to write. We worked directly with primary schools to make our lessons work for teachers too. With Start B, any child can master handwriting, and they will benefit in other ways too. Best of all, a Start B handwriting lesson leaves the children wanting more.
Like I said, it can obviously take sort of as little as 12 weeks. Now, depending on the needs of your children and the abilities, it will be as long as it needs to be to get the best from the programme. Now, the pencil grip song. They love the pencil grip song. You only have to say the pencil grip song, or even just say pencil grip now in our classes, and the children think about, okay, where do my fingers need to be and how do I need to hold that pencil? As you can see, they are writing with the Start B pencils. Start B have worked with BIC to develop a range of pencils, and they're very good in the sense that they're triangular, but they've got a yellow line that helps the children then work out sort of how to hold it and the positioning of the fingers. But in their trolley, they also have sort of all the coloured crayons and all the coloured pencils. If you buy into Start B or sign up to them, all of these resources are provided for you to be able to then use in your school. So then the children, when they're using their writing items, will then follow the pencil grip song and work along with it. Okay, so one of the main purposes of Start B is not only to get the children to hold the pencil properly, but it's also to use both hands. So the ability of working sort of with both hands, crossing the midline, holding things in place. It's all those skills that they're bringing together which all impact on the handwriting of the children. So every time they do the pencil grip song, they're reminded of their position that they need to be sat in. If you've got children who are dangling feet, who have poor core strength, that's when you're going to have issues with handwriting as well. So it reminds them they need to be sitting up straight, they need to be holding their pencil properly, and they use their other hand to hold the paper still and do their writing. So each school, when you sign in, you then have your own school portal page. So you would then, we use it through Chrome because all the videos are then downloadable. You can watch them sort of very easily. And there were other downloads on there as well. So there's CPD practice. You can watch videos on there of other people delivering it. And then there's also the font that we can produce the writing materials on. So each school has a sign in. So we've logged on, we sign in. And then each teacher is allocated their own page so that then you know which lesson plan you're basically working from. So I'm going to show you an example lesson, okay? I'm going to do it without a timer because then you can sort of see it in less time. But like I say, it's usually about a 30-minute session, but obviously depends on the needs of your children, how quickly they work. And the lesson that we're going to look at is an intervention it's the patterns one, but when you go over to Start B, you can also look at the interventions one, which also combines a couple of patterns or a couple of the activities into one lesson. So it makes it quicker for you to progress through if your children are at that rate. Obviously, if they're not, then you need to sort of just do it one step at a time. But the good thing about Start B is that they don't allow you to progress before you've done some of the beginning stages. So if you have children that you think, oh, they could go straight on to the joined up stage, if they've not proceeded through the programme as it's intended and filled all those gaps, then there's no point in going straight on to the joined up because they won't have the formation and such. Okay, so they use the light boxes, again, all part of the package that you sort of sign up to. So you're provided with all of the light boxes, you're provided with all of the resources, and you're provided with all of the overlays as well to go with it. And then the children are sort of taught how to use the light box properly, how to store it, how to hold it, where to put everything. Okay, so if you had the version that had the timer, then it would then give you an allotted amount of time to maybe do that activity. So it might be about 7 minutes that the children would then work on that for. Obviously, in this version, there's no timer, so it allows you to then set how long you want the children to work on it. and again, depends on the needs of the children and how quickly they want to move on. And then there's always, after having done a handwriting activity, there's then always a fine motor activity. So it will move on to using some more of the resources that are in the station.
Now we have the Start B clipping station.
So it's not just about the handwriting development, it's about the fine motor skills as well. So we've obviously spoke about the match fit assessment, and you sort of saw that in one of the videos, how the children do the activity and then you comment on how they've done it basically, the hand that they've used, were they able to continue the pattern, were they able to do over the tracing. So you've got lots of ways of tracking their progression through the handwriting. And we also take photos as well, so that you can see the handwriting grip, and then you'll be able to see the progression of that. And then the pupils' data is, like I say, it's put into a baseline assessment that is then sent through from Start B. You can link in the photos to that, so that's what we've been doing in the school, just so that we can see the starting hand grip, and then when we do it again in sort of the summer term, we'll see the progression with that. So these are examples of the children at another school and the progression. So this is a child with 8 weeks worth of Start B. So you can see the progress there. Again, with 8 weeks worth of Start B. Again, you can just see how much progression there is in the formation and the control over the handwriting and the letter shape, where it is on the page. That one's pretty dramatic in terms of the improvements there. And I think because the children then become more confident with their handwriting, they want to produce more. So they feel more comfortable with how they're writing. And for some of our pupils, they now want to write. And that's the most important thing, especially if you've got children who it's a complete barrier because actually they think that it can't be read what they've put down on the paper, or they don't like how it's presented, or they're perfectionists maybe and spend so long over each letter that they then don't get enough down. By doing the Start B, we've allowed some of our pupils then a lot more pace to their writing because they feel much more comfortable with holding the pencil. And parents are commenting on it. I had one pupil who constantly used a palm grip. No matter what we did, he would just hold the pencil like this. Since doing Start B, he now holds the pencil properly, and his mum was commenting that at Christmas, she actually saw that when he was writing his Christmas cards. She said, I've never seen him hold the pencil properly, and now he's doing it. And I was like, that's brilliant, because we've only been using it since September. So that's a big step forwards, really, for him. Again, very big sort of improvements there. And then alongside this, they have a development of the gross motor skills. So getting children to actually think about the fact that handwriting isn't always just in the hands. It actually involves our arms, it involves crossing, again, that midline, and sort of becoming much more prominent, actually, in the development of handwriting. So this is a version, it's called the Jungle Write Workout, and the children can do this activity. So if you've got children who sometimes just need a workout, need a wake up, need a bit of a starter activity, things like that are fab because it just gets them more awake, gets them alert, gets them using their body parts. We do a lot of warm-up to writing, so we might have the children doing sort of wall press-ups or tripod dips or going under tables and chairs and over them, doing an obstacle course, because it's like asking children to do a marathon without any training. If you're asking children to write reams and reams of paper, but then they haven't warmed up their arms and their fingers, you're not going to get the best from them. So we do sort of the right workout, or we'll do activities just based on that. Get them moving, get them up and about, and then they're going to do the best in terms of their writing. So that's basically Start B and what it can provide. Anybody got any questions about it at the moment? We will have all of the resources so you can have a look at them and search. And at the moment, like I say, it's very good. It works with our pupils, and we've seen it work in lots of other schools. And the training and actually the support that you get with Start B is brilliant. I can be in constant communication with Mel and the team, and I get feedback straight away. And if I've got an issue with something, if it's technical or if there's something else going on, I can contact them and they will be sort of on hand to help with that. If you think that it's something that you believe would work with your pupils, by all means you can get in contact with myself and sort of come and see it in action. Or if you just want a bit more information, then obviously drop myself an email, but that's sort of StartBe. And it does work with writing, so if you've got children who struggle with writing, I would definitely recommend it. I think the most sort of important thing that we've noticed with handwriting and using StartBe over the months that we've used it is the engagement from the pupils. They want to take part in the lessons, they want to improve their writing, they are becoming independent with their writing, so they're getting out the resources that they need, they are writing their formation on their own and they're proud of what they've achieved. They believe that everything that they've put down on the paper is their own work, and that's how it should be. So they then want to do that in subsequent lessons. So when they then go to do a literacy or a history lesson and they're using their handwriting skills, they're reminded, obviously, pencil grip, or we just say something like, what would Hannah Jane say? They then are prompted into the StartBe mode, and so then their handwriting is developed as a sort of consequence. I think the three things that I love the most about StartBe is that it firstly frees up the adults in the class. It's interactive, it's led by the sort of interactive whiteboard and the lesson plans. It allows the adults to then work with the pupils rather than having that, oh, I need to check afterwards to see what they've done, or I'm going to review that at the end of the lesson. I can be involved in every step of that lesson and see the children as they progress through. I think the other things that we love about it is that everything is provided for you. You don't have to prepare, you don't have to make things. All of the fine motor activities are all in the trolley. There's the light stations, which are fab, and they respond really well to them. And I think the other thing that we love is that it can be done with a variety of pupils. It's not just one age group or one ability group that it works with. It works across our school. So we have children from all ages using it. And the pupils respond well to the lessons. Why would I recommend StartBe to schools? I think because it works. It not only incorporates handwriting but fine motor skills, and we know that if children have fine motor skills difficulties, then without improving those and without working on their finger dexterity, their muscle strength, all of those skills that they need, their handwriting isn't going to get better. So the combining of the two elements allows the children to then develop their handwriting, develop their confidence. They feel proud of the work that they're doing and therefore want to show it off a lot more. So it's not just in the StartBe lessons, it's seen throughout the curriculum, and we're sort of seeing those skills transfer, which is brilliant. I don't think we could live without StartBe now, no, not because we've seen some of the progress that we've made just in a short amount of time. StartBe is it's just part of our intervention toolkit now, and we just use it. So it's just part of our school.